Our values, our tikanga are built on love, whānau, respect. But here's the thing, if our culture, our reo, was really protecting the kids, then why does New Zealand have some of the highest child abuse and infanticide rates in the world?
Blame the bottle, the pipe, the drugs, the Pākehā, the system, colonization. We fucking blame everything but ourselves. And
I've been tossing up for ages whether or not to make this video, but today I was at a conference where one of the speakers was just so incredible that it made me think, nah, fuck it. So there's been a bit of a trend lately called Māori fatigue, where people talk about how they're sick of Māori talking about colonisation being the reason for lots of the bad statistics. And I chose to clip those two guys' videos because you can tell that their kōrero comes from a place of aroha, but there's some content creators out there that are clearly doing it for clout and for pats on the head from the racists. But these two are doing it in a way where you can tell they really want to reach people and kind of give a bit of tough love to make them do better. So my kōrero is to address some of the racists in the comments who've latched on to this idea of Māori fatigue. My first issue with the Māori fatigue trend is that it unintentionally for some and intentionally for others lumps all Māori into this category of being abusive. So there's around 1 million people who whakapapa Māori, right? And about 5,000 of those are in prison and about 3,000 of those are in state care. That is a really, really small percentage of Māori. And as the bro said, Māori culture through its principles is about aroha, love, manaakitanga, taking care of people, whanaungatanga, building relationships with people. And so in theory, right, that really small percentage of Māori that are in these institutions would be able to be looked after by Māori culture, right? But one of the biggest problems with that is that prison as a system clashes unbelievably hard with Māori culture. The idea of plucking your relative out of the crowd for making a mistake or doing something wrong and biffing them into a box to rot by themselves just does not align. And not only does it not align with Māori culture and principles, it doesn't even really align with British culture because prison has been shown not to reduce crime. And then secondly, we have the state care system, which is when a child gets uplifted out of their whānau and basically put in the custody of the government. And iwi, hapu and whānau Māori have always sat outside of the system and not been included. Māori culture was never allowed to be a part of the state care system. And in 1988, a report came out called Pu Aotearoa, which was an expert panel of Māori who were passionate about the state care system, who said, hey, this system is making things so much worse for Māori children. You're ripping them out of our whānau, not giving us any say on where they go, isolating them by themselves, disconnecting them from whakapapa, from reo, from culture, and then these kids are still getting abused. And the outcomes were way worse for Māori. That report had a whole bunch of recommendations, including saying that the government should hand over care of these kids to the iwi who had been sitting on the sideline for